Welcome to day number 5 of CSI8 Certification. We're going to have part 2 of CSI ILAS. Now that we know how to use EFIS from day 4, we're going to see how to use EFIS data to identify flights to be unblocked in ILAS. And we're also going to review FAA flight standard data to see the difference between a call sign and a flight number. Okay, once again, let's review from day number 2. We're going to open ILAS. You can either do it from the icon on the left, or you can open it with a shortcut icon on the icon bar. Okay, so let's look at the arrival list, and let's look at the flight number column. And notice that we have block flights that have GA for general aviation. We have some N numbers, which are tail numbers. And then we have several flights that are 3 letters and then some numbers. Those flights with 3 letters, they're flying by what is called their call sign. For example, we have selected in that list EJA571. Well, almost everybody who's been in aviation for a period of time knows that NetJets flies by the call letters of EJA. If you look to the right of that list, you'll see the arrival details where we have the EJA571 showing, but it's showing below the tail number. Yes, we actually know that the tail number of that flight is 571 Quebec Sierra, but it's flying by the call sign. All aircraft buy their fuel and their services by their tail number, but some of them fly by their call sign.
Let me explain what I've done on the screen. I've set it up so that my reservations are visible while I'm looking at my arrivals. We'll go in more detail about this on day number 8, but for now just know that's possible. And in the right side on the reservation side, I've selected tail number 800 Kilo Mike, and it's a Falcon 900, and its reservations at 1530. So now I look in the arrival side and I see there's a Falcon 900 that's arriving about that same time, but that tail number is blocked. So now I know that that tail number goes with that blocked flight. So what I've done in ILAS, at the top of the screen, you can see that I've turned data refresh off. And when data refresh is off, that means the FAA feed is not updating my screen. I'm disconnected from all those updates so I can do changes without the FAA feed updating, changing my screen setups. And so now I'm going to select edit. I right mouse click on that block flight and I'm going to select edit. So after clicking edit, the flight edit screen shows up where I can put in the new tail number. On the screen, I've already typed in the tail number that I want it to be, November 800 Kilo Mike, and I've already clicked the button that says determine if tail number exists in CSI. And since it existed, it made the save button available to me, so now I'm going to click save to update that flight. It's truly that simple. Right mouse click, hit edit, type the tail number, press the button to determine if it's in CSI or not, hit save, you're done. It literally takes less than 10 seconds.
Okay, so now you can look at ILAS and you can see that after I click saved, it actually unblocked that tail number. We now have the tail number in our data, and that data will never change. It'll be there for the history of CSI. A good thing to point out is that we did not add a new flight. We actually found a block flight that matched the tail number in our reservations. I've seen many times where people who are trained in CSI, they don't have that keen eye to see that block flight with the F900 and see the tail number is also a Falcon 900 and actually have the wherewithal to update. And so many times their data is skewed in its analysis because they added a new jet record, which is duplicate of the one that was already there because they added a flight rather than unblocking it. Now let's look at how we add a flight in ILAS. Again, we right mouse click on the arrival list and we see our menu. Once again, understand that data refresh has got to be turned off to see the add, edit, and delete options in that menu. Now we're going to click the add button to open the add flight screen. So there is the flight add screen. Yes, it's quite simple. I filled the data in myself to help train on how this data works. And so the first thing you put in would be the flight number, and I put in test. And then after that, you can decide whether you know where the aircraft departed from. I just assumed it was Teterboro, but I actually didn't know. You can leave that blank. The arrival airport is going to default to your default site location. Since you can see my default site is White Plains, it defaults to HPN. Now on the departure and arrival dates, it defaults to the current date. But on the arrival time, understand we're always adding an arrival. We're not adding a departure. So we will know our arrival time, but the departure time must be before the arrival. That makes sense, but when you look at it, you put in your arrival, you may be thinking you're putting the departure time of when they're leaving your airport. No, this is the departure time of this flight. So I'm showing that they arrived at 1700. They must have departed from Teterboro prior to 1700. I just put in 1 hour difference because I'm adding the flight and I just need to have a number. And I pretty much on all my added flights, if I don't know where they departed from, I just subtract an hour. And so with those rules applied, you can hit save and you will add a new flight into ILAS. Okay, so I hit save and it saved that record into CSI. And now I'm seeing it in my arrival list in White Plains. There's a tail number called test that is landing at 1700. That's how you add a flight into ILAS. That concludes day number 5. Let's move on to day number 6.